Hey everybody, this is Muffin with the Daily Biker Podcast. Just here to let y'all know the opinions and ideas expressed in this show are those of the hosts and their guests, not to be confused with their partners and sponsors. Now, let's get it on.
Hey guys, this is Sean from the Bikes and Beards YouTube channel, and you guys are listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You're gonna love it.
About it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that is,
It's an R24/28/758312.
12.
What year did that come out?
yeah, yeah. They get so confused. So, anyways. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Daily Biker Podcast. My name is Marcus, and I'm your clueless leader. Today, we're going to go on a learning journey, or we're actually going to continue a learning journey, I should say. This is part 2 of the history of BMW. Going to be throwing some facts at you. So, I do have Miss Muffin.
Hi, y'all.
And I have Daniel.
Hey there.
And I think when we left off, we were in 1950.
We were in 1950.
They just kind of got lifted. They were under regulations.
They were under regulations.
Quick recap.
Post-war.
They built bikes for bad people, and they were told, shame on you. We're going to control what you do by several governments. So 1950 comes along, and those regulations are getting lifted?
Yes. So BMW in 1947 was allowed to make single-cylinder engines, but that most of those were exported to the United States or were kind of locally, so couldn't build anything that was anything similar to the military production.
Right. And those were, now they were building the whole bike or just the motor?
They were building the whole bike.
Okay. Because
they had rebuilt the factory in Munich. Post-war, rebuilt the factory.
Well, I remember when we talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I do too.
Crazy.
That was one bathroom break ago.
Yes, for y'all, time has shifted differently.
Yeah.
We're in the future.
We're in the future.
Actually, I want to double check something real quick. So, let's see. So, the 8th, the 15th. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. You'll be hearing this on the 15th.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
As long as you
No,
pay.
I'll have it out there. It's whether they listen to it on the 15th.
Well,
yeah.
Well, if they listen to the first one, they're probably going to listen to this one as well.
Yeah, they'll
I would
listen in
imagine.
2026.
Yeah, 2027. So,
I mean, I can guarantee you they didn't listen to this in 2024.
no, that is also true.
No.
Yeah,
So they'll listen to it sometime in the future.
Yes.
correct.
1950, BMW was allowed to resume production of their twin-cylinder motorcycles. So the Boxer Twin that BMW is known for. They came out with the 500cc R51/2.
/2.
Which was immediately followed by the R51/3 and the R67.
What is with the
in
numbers?
1951. I wish I could understand BMW's naming at this period of time. Like, now it seems like, you start at a 51, then you go to a 67. Like, okay,
you're moving up.
We're moving up in time, and the engine size hasn't changed, but the model's changed. Okay, make it new. These 500cc's. Now, Marcus also has a cheat sheet.
Yes, I've been given a cheat sheet.
So the cheat sheet Marcus has all of the BMW, like the main production bikes.
Yes,
So-
which says that bike is the first post-war Boxer Twin at 494 cc's. It had a plunger-type rear suspension, telescopic forks, and produced a whopping 24 horsepower.
Ooh.
Which got changed when they went to the R67 and the 51/3 and 51. They made 35 horsepower with the same engine.
Yeah.
But so the previous iterations, all the single cylinders that BMW is making immediately post-war were hardtail bikes.
Yep.
So they're going back to a sprung suspension. And as we talked about in the last episode, BMW also had the first motorcycle with hydraulic telescopic front forks.
I guess so, yeah, because everything else was a Springer of some type.
It was a leaf spring of some kind or a single spring.
Or
Well, it was basically leaf springs. Everything prior
For BMW?
Well, most motorcycle companies.
Well, no, Harley still had the coil. Okay, you see like on a modern Springer?
Yeah.
That was, I mean, that's an old spring style.
But if you think about it, though, the forks were not. It was the way that spring ran.
Yeah.
The wheel and everything kind of moved with the. It didn't have the telescopic forks in it.
Correct. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I'm not saying they were telescopic.
That's what I'm saying. Like the telescope, the front fork that we know today was developed by the Germans in 1935.
I wonder who produced what they called the girder. I thought that was a BMW front end.
I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. I didn't see.
So imagine the leaf spring style, but you have a shock or a spring that's mounted parallel to the ground. So as that front end takes a bump, it actually pivots forward and backwards.
I don't know if that was BMW, because later in time, and we're not there yet.
No.
I want to say up until the 80s. That's when BMW came out with their paralever and tail lever technology.
Yeah.
Before Goldwing. Which
a lot of stuff was done before Goldwing.
Yes. So
Goldwing, great bike. Not new technology.
No, it was not. So we are now currently in the mid 50s.
Yep.
Apparently in the 1950s, Europe went into a small recession, depression, and sales of motorcycles died.
Well,
Uh-oh.
damn.
3 of BMW's competitors in the 1950s went out of business. And it doesn't name the 3 competitors because no one would probably recognize the names now.
I bet if Charlie was here, he'd know.
Yeah, well, he was there.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah, he was.
So in 1954, BMW produced 30,000 motors, and they're producing the 51/3 and the R67 or 68. By 1957, they were only producing 5,500 motorcycles, which would be a death knell for most companies nowadays, except for KTM that just keeps getting money from other companies. But
what do you mean? There is no modern company that would just have somebody else completely build their motorcycles while they slap their name on it.
no,
Never.
No one would do that.
No one would do
Never.
Continue.
that. Or get government money. 1955, BMW introduced a new range of motorcycles with telescopic front forks and enclosed drive shafts. Previously, they were exposed drive shafts like you see. If anyone's ever owned a V-Star 650 from the early 2000s, exposed, everything's exposed. You can see it spin.
Oh yeah.
Now they are actually enclosed drive shafts. They have a housing,
which would be the R26. Correct? According to paperwork you gave me.
Well, that was, it might be, because I have R50, R60, and R69.
Bunch of numbers.
So, and it might be. It's just you don't. Yeah, this is a cheat sheet.
Yeah, that's a cheat sheet.
That's abbreviated.
Yeah.
Abbreviations. Oh, like BMW.
Yes. So, but these were all producing in that 26 to 35 horsepower range. They're still using the 500cc engine. These are really just changes of style and design from that period.
Yes.
So I do have an interesting note. On June 8th, 1959, John Penton rode a BMW R69, which I have no idea what model the R69 is, because BMW probably doesn't even really know what model the R69 is.
It is a high-end model with performance enhancements. It's 594 cc's. It's a sportier version of the R50 designed for the enthusiast, which delivers 35 horsepower.
Huh.
That's actually what it says here. He
I had
rode
the
that
cheat sheet.
he rode that bike from New York to LA. in 53 hours and 11 minutes,
He's never going to make the cannonball record like that.
slashing over 24 hours from the previous motorcycle record, which is impressive.
That's impressive.
But you also got to think, infrastructure in the United States in 1959, going from New York to LA, is not the same as it was now.
No.
No, it's not. There's not as much freeway, but there is freeway under construction in 1959.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There
Like,
are sections that does have open freeway at that point in time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, a lot of that still might have been Route 66 or something like that.
yeah. And that's most likely what a majority of it was.
Yeah.
So in the late 1950s, BMW was unfortunately in financial trouble. Sales in Europe were way down. They're not doing anything because
Motorcycle company got in financial trouble?
No, the whole company.
Yeah, the entire motorcycle company got.
The whole company.
And BMW cars.
Never would have thought of a company being in financial trouble.
No, that's reserved for the Austrians.
Pretty close to each other. Was it Austria on the West German side?
It was not.
No, I'm not saying where they aligned with.
Oh, no, the physical country of Austria is on the eastern side of
is it?
Germany.
Okay.
Yes.
Just like, I'm not talking about where they aligned politically.
No. Austria is east.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like south. It's like right on the southern,
I thought,
southeastern
like,
border of
Yeah.
Russia.
You get
or
to like
Germany.
the east side of Germany, and all of a sudden there's Russia and snow.
No, there's a whole country called Poland in between there.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Poland
Yeah.
was north.
Well, it's northeast, but it
Yeah.
still borders. Like,
It's still, yeah.
I know a lot of people forget about Poland, but they got the worst side of both wars. They were just in the middle.
Yeah. Bless it.
Look, in World War II, they got attacked. They had the Blitzkrieg run through, and they attacked on horseback.
Yeah.
Sorry, Poland. So in the late 50s, BMW almost got bought out by Daimler-Benz,
Oh.
but was bailed out by some wealthy investors. And
History does
so
repeat itself.
they were bailed out by the wealthy investors, and the BMW automobiles were selling increasingly better in foreign countries. So they were getting an influx of cash from their automobile section.
Yeah, well, we're getting into the 60s, right?
Yes.
I can name a country in the 60s that was buying a lot of BMW automobiles.
Yes. And they also sold off their aeronautic division.
They should have done that a long time ago. I feel like they should have done that sometime around 1922.
They would have been in a lot better shape if they had.
Yeah.
So they also, in the late 50s, and actually the R27 ran until 1967, which was the last single cylinder shaft drive motorcycle BMW produced. Yes, Marcus?
Put a pause on that, but continue.
At the time.
Actually, shaft drive, yes.
Yeah, shaft drive, yes. That was the last single cylinder shaft drive motorcycle.
Yes.
Ended in 1967.
Yeah.
Also, most of BMW's motorcycles were made with the design for a sidecar, because that's what they had been doing for the past 20 years. In the late 1960s, that design ended. No more sidecar design motorcycles. They were all standard two-wheeled bikes
Yeah.
because people wanted sportier bikes.
Well, yeah. Makes sense.
So BMW came out with the R50/2, the R60/2, and the R69S.
Yes.
Those were the last sidecar capable BMW motorcycles, with the R69 being the most powerful of the three.
And the S.
The S.
Sport.
Sports.
It does. It's on the cheat sheet. It's on the cheat sheet. With a capable speed of 109 miles an hour.
Which, in the
mean,
60s, that's really
that's-
impressive for a motorcycle.
You could outrun a cop car.
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
Because they were running probably 75 miles an hour, 80.
I don't think I'd run 75 miles an hour in a 1960s Cup car.
No.
However, as I talked about, sales of motorcycles dwindled in Europe. In the United States, post-war, as we have talked about with the Harley episode, motorcycle sales were booming.
Yep.
You had a lot of GIs that were coming back. Mind you, this is after Korea as well.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of soldiers coming back that wanted to get into some, they needed something to do.
Yep.
They actually sold US only models for the 68 and 69 year, the BMW R50 US, the R60 US, and the R69 US. These models were sold with telescopic front forks and without the sidecar lugs because the Americans didn't want sidecars, which is a shame because think about how cool that would be to get a bunch of those with sidecars now.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the bike is, but Shay and Shannon.
They bought an Allstate.
Yeah, with a sidecar.
I saw it.
They sent me pictures, or they showed me pictures at the ride today.
So there we go. Now I'm back on both pages. So BMW now starts coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
1969?
1969. So
Well, you're significant. You have a note that says significant modernization of BMW motorcycles, including electric start.
yes, they were actually one of the first companies to put electric start on their motorcycles
I 100% believe that in
in
1969.
the 1960s.
Yeah.
So this in 1969 was a complete revamping of the BMW motorcycles.
Well, if you ever see old Harleys and you see like a E in the nomenclature,
Yes,
that means electric start.
that makes sense.
So you get like an old FLD E.
That was an electric. Did they also have kickstart at the same time too,
Yes.
or it was okay?
Yeah.
Because that's BMW did the same thing. They had a time period. All the previous motorcycles, not that I felt like I needed to say it, they were all kickstart only.
What?
I know.
Makes sense.
I thought they
Crazy.
had like pull cables.
There
Like
might have
a
been
lawnmower?
one. Those were the
singles?
those were the East German bikes.
Those had pedals.
God.
But on the upside, they could run on vodka.
Well,
They probably did.
yeah, they probably did, honestly.
Score one for potato power.
Yeah.
Potatoes are great.
So BMW introduced a new range of motorcycles, the /5 range, which was the 500cc. Now Marcus has the exact cc. This is all rounded on my sheet. So the 500cc R50/5, 600cc R60/5, and the 750cc R75/5.
Which ranged 32 horsepower, 40 horsepower, and 50 horsepower.
And this actually makes sense. An R50 is 500 cc's, an R60 is 600 cc's, an R75. Oh, look at that, 750 cc's.
See, that makes
Yeah, it's when they
sense.
start making sense.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for once.
Yeah. I just want to point out, I love how you have it wrote down. It says R69/5, but then it says series. So it looks like you have R69/5 series. Or 1969, sorry, not R69, but 1969/5 series. It's like, I didn't know they made a 5 series back in 1969.
This is where they really started to get into the slash bikes. They had done it previously with the /1, /2, /3.
Yeah.
There was never a /4. I never found that in any of the research that I did, which
Okay.
that was probably a late fit. It might have been a redesign at some point and then just, screw that. We'll go to the 5s. So these were completely these engines were brand new engines. They similar to what you were finding in modern car engines.
Yeah.
Roller bearings, everything was modernized. Camshaft was chain driven, located underneath the crankshaft instead of at the top of the engine, how it had been done previously.
On the front.
On the front. But they did it also to lower the center of the gravity of the bike because they had a lot of weight up top. Now they moved everything down. And
I'm saying a cam chain I watched a video one time. It was a cam chain job, replacing the cam chain on an old 1100 air-cooled GS.
Yes.
And it would have been the same design as what these were.
Correct. Yeah.
So
They in all reality, BMW's Boxer engine design hasn't changed. It's changed. There's been a lot of modernization with it, but it's essentially the same thing as what you're seeing here.
yeah.
This is the modern BMW.
Now, did it say on there? Has it said anywhere? And it might not have, because it's kind of just one of those things that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
To me, I want to know. It doesn't really matter. Were these twins dual carbureted?
It hasn't said, but every picture I've found shows dual carburetors.
Okay.
You had one per cylinder.
Well, like the new Boxers are like dual injection,
Correct.
like two separate like injection systems on each side.
Yes. And now what I have here and all my information, there were pictures attached and I deleted all the pictures because
That's what I did.
yeah,
They always have writing underneath it too.
they do.
And you got to make sure you delete the picture and the writing. Or it
Well,
gets
and I
confusing.
missed the writing a few times when I first did it. And I was like,
I did the first 4 chapters, and I went back and redid them.
so from every picture I saw, and now I think some of the 50s models had single carburetors on their Boxers.
Okay.
But getting into the 60s, it was a dual carburetor, one carburetor per cylinder.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Well, it makes sense for the Boxer because your cylinders are so far apart.
Yeah.
So,
Like on a Harley, a V2 is still a 2-cylinder.
yeah,
bike.
you just run a
Single carb with a Y at the back
Correct.
at the back of it, and you can be just fine.
yeah.
So also in 1969, this is when the electric starter was available, as we had previously discussed.
Yeah.
Now they still had the Kickstarter, which I found was interesting because it's connected to the gearbox.
Yeah, it's that way on a Harley.
Where it's located on there, it's a little bit further back, and I just thought it was neat because you look at
Were these left side kick?
yes,
Okay.
yep. So
Just an interesting little fact for some of you that might not know that. Europeans did stuff backwards.
they did, but this, mind you, you're talking 1960s. Kickstart and electric start. You didn't really start seeing that on most motorcycles until the mid to late 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so during this time period in 73, BMW actually moved their factory from Munich to Spandau in West Berlin. Still east and west. Used to be it used to be the facility that manufactured aircraft.
Well,
I wonder what they were doing.
yeah,
there.
wonder.
So for Harley, it was 1965, the FLE.
Oh, really?
That was their first their first electric start motorcycle.
Was it? So was that the only model though that had the electric start, or was it just throughout the range?
That was the first model ever. That was also the last year for the Panhead. So
Because it seems like BMW put the electric start on everything they produced.
anyway.
So 1974, we got into the /6 series
Yeah.
of BMW. Hold on, I'm looking at. No, screw that page. I apologize. I'm
Moving on.
moving on. That was going back in time, and I didn't want to go back in time again.
Back
Because
in
so
time.
for everybody at home, if it seems like I'm jumping, I have a more detailed history of BMW, and then I have the history that BMW wants you to see. And the history BMW wants you to see kind of jumps a little bit. But the /6 series introduced a new engine. They discontinued the 500cc and brought out the 900cc, which is the R90. They still had the R60, the R75, and now the R90. They also came out with a sporty model, the R90/S,
S.
which Marcus has on his cheat sheet, I'm sure.
Yeah, 67 horsepower, 0 to 62. To clarify, that's how the people that use kilometers do it, which is actually 0 to 100 kilometers.
Correct.
So it's 0 to 62 miles an hour. It's 4.8 seconds with a top speed of 124 miles an hour.
Which is pretty impressive. I mean, that's still pretty impressive.
By modern standards, that's a
That's
regular
good.
bike.
Yeah.
Yes. But in the early 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, 900 cc's,
Honda.
That's probably faster than what the V-Star 1100 was.
Yeah, probably.
So,
and I mean, at this time, you're talking early 70s. So Honda had already started making the CV750.
yep.
Kawasaki was making, they had a 750 at the time. And I think this was the origination of the 900 class. They didn't do the 1000 until a little bit later.
Yeah.
The R90S was also the first one to include a 5-speed gearbox. Previous iterations had 3 and 4 speeds, which, 75, they finally got rid of the Kickstarter. No more Kickstart bikes for BMW.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the 90 also came standard with dual disc front brakes.
Yeah, I don't have that on this sheet, but I have that on that sheet. 76 brought out the /7 line.
Oh.
They got...
I'm excited about something different that happened in 76.
Oh, well, let me go through this, and it might be in my little list here.
It was the Bicentennial. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it was the Bicentennial.
It was.
That wasn't what I'm excited about.
So they introduced new engine, the 800cc. So you had the R80/7. Still had the 900, which was the R90. You had the 90S. Both of those, the 900s, were replaced by the 1000cc R100, R100S, and R100RS models.
That is what I was referencing.
Which is interesting because the RS was one of the first from the factory fully fared motorcycles.
With 70 horsepower.
70 horsepower and a top speed of 124 miles an hour. Or 200 kilometers per hour.
And when you compare 70 horsepower, it's a good amount of power.
Yes. 78, they came out with the R45 and the R65. But they were 450 and 650cc models that replaced the R60. At least that makes sense. 450cc, it's an R45.
Yeah.
Yep.
R65, it's a 650.
Yeah, that makes sense.
1980 is a very pivotal year for BMW.
Okay, let me say this. Because I know, because it's on the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have like the big cheat sheet, the concise cheat sheet.
So when Daniel says pivotal year, through history, you can pick companies. You can pick a modern company. We could say, what's the biggest thing about a Ferrari car? What's the most noticeable thing about a Ferrari car? Now, obviously, you might have a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
But for the majority of the people, they're going to go, oh, it's a rear-engine Italian sports car. Well,
Yeah.
Ferraris weren't always rear-engine Italian sports cars.
No,
It's a defining factor for Ferrari now.
but it wasn't
Yeah.
always.
And it's a major point in the branding of something happening to redefine and create a new image of the brand.
Yeah.
Yes.
1980, BMW did that. Continue.
In 1980, the R80 GS. It was a brand new, it was one of the world's first like full size
Adventure bike.
bikes. Do you know what GS stands for? Does it say it on your cheat sheet?
It doesn't, but I'm going to say Grand Sport.
No.
Giant sidecar.
The words don't actually go together. They're two separate words. divided by a slash.
I was slash.
Off-road and road. G means off-road. The S means road.
So the S means
Okay.
road like sport.
Yes.
Okay.
The G means
Gravel.
off-road.
Yeah.
Coffee shop.
Coffee shop.
So this was one of the first full-size enduro adventure. Like, this was the beginning of the adventure bike, the true adventure bike as we know it today.
And they
Yeah.
also did something else on that GS model.
They changed the engine.
They changed another major thing. That's another identifying factor of BMW motorcycles,
I'm looking through my
especially GS.
the paralever swing arm.
The single-sided parallel.
Yes. That was actually the first single-sided swing arm ever.
So,
Prior to that, everybody had, you had a dual shock, dual-sided swing arm.
Yep.
But they also introduced a R65 GS, which was a smaller 650cc version. And in the same year, in 1988, came out with the R100 GS, which apparently people needed more power. 1985.
I was wondering. I was just sitting here looking at that.
Well, I'm sorry, 83.
Yeah.
The
you have 83.
K100. So up until this point, all of BMW's motorcycles, if they weren't a single cylinder post-war, they were a boxer twin.
Right.
The K100 was the first inline four motorcycle, 987 cc's. It was also BMW's first fuel-injected bike. And it also had a single-sided swing arm. Now, the K100 and the K series, up until you get to the 1200S, was a longitudinal mounted inline four, meaning the engine went from front to back. Exhaust was on one side, intake was on the other side, which these were also called the flying bricks. Because if you look at the engine, that's exactly what it looks like. 85, the K75 was added for an entry level 4-cylinder bike. But it was 3 cylinders.
What?
This is chopped off a cylinder.
Yeah.
They chopped off a cylinder. 750 cc's. Also, the BMW's first engine to use a counterbalance shaft. In 1988, BMW also had another innovation that no one else had ever put on a motorcycle before. Do you have that on your cheat sheet, Marcus?
In 88?
In 88.
I was
Turn
I was
the
reading
page.
86. Yes. On the K1?
On the K100 LT.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Oh, yeah, but the K1, 1988 K1 also has something too.
It does. It does. It was also on that bike. In 88, that's when they put this on the motorcycles, but it was first on the K100 LT.
Yeah.
Which is basically the same thing as the K1.
Yeah.
ABS.
Oh.
This is the first, the K100 LT and the K1 were the first motorcycles to ever have ABS.
Interesting.
Do you know what the other thing I'm looking at is?
4 valves per cylinder.
That's right.
Also the first motorcycle to have 4 valves per cylinder.
So BMW had a lot of firsts for the motorcycle world.
They did.
Yeah.
Stuff that we see nowadays is like telescopic front forks. That was very, prevalent in the 70s.
That was innovative.
Yeah.
ABS didn't really start coming out until the 90s.
Yeah.
Should we go back to the 70s and talk about them doing liquid cooling?
Well,
If you want to go back there, it didn't have that on mine, and I completely forgot about that.
I mean, I noticed that was one of those things. Let me see. So, where did I see that at?
turn the page.
No, I saw it a second ago. Maybe it's 1980. They start doing liquid cooled.
It
K100.
Okay, so it'd be 1983.
So, yeah.
1983 was the first year they also did liquid cooling. Yeah, you know what? It was powered by a water-cooled inline-4. I just said inline-4. I forgot about the water-cooled.
1986, though.
What do you have for 1986? Because I don't have 1986 in here.
Something we discussed earlier. In 1986, the R80 GS celebrated BMW's success in the Paris to Dakar rally.
Yep, your sheet has that. Mine doesn't.
With the 32-liter fuel tank.
Which is massive.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So now we're here in the early 90s, though.
Yeah. Well, the BMW the 1988 K1. We didn't really talk about the K1 much. BMW's Sport Tour. It's a weird bike. If you've never seen a picture of the K1, you should look it up. Single-sided swing arm, it's their first fully faired motorcycle, and it looks like what a modern sport bike is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also reached an impressive top speed of 230 kilometers per hour.
Or 150 miles.
Yeah,
per
which
hour.
is
150 miles per hour
pretty good.
with the 4-valve engine. So, how much do you think the ABS option cost in German Deutschmarks in 1988?
I don't know what the changeover rate is. I would say in American it was probably $150.
It was the exchange rate was closer in the 80s. A dollar was almost a Deutschmark at the time.
$150.
1,980 Deutschmarks.
That is a lot of money
That's a lot
get
of
ABS.
Yes.
Jeez.
But apparently, more than 50% of the customers bought the bikes with ABS, which is impressive.
Yeah.
Because ABS it existed on cars at the time, but not substantially.
And it was nowhere like it is now.
No.
No.
1993. So we've gone through the 80s. You
Now
know,
we're in the 90s.
the K series bikes have been introduced. The inline 4, inline 3 bikes. BMW came out with the R1100 RS Sport Tour, which we still see the R1100 design today.
Mm-hmm. And going to rallies, I've heard them referenced as what you have something on the sheet.
These engines, the previous iterations of the Boxer Twin were called the Airheads. Mm-hmm. Now, with the R1100 RS, they started going to an oil-cooled head or oil head engines. The R1100 was also the first to use the tail lever front suspension. Mm-hmm. And the engine was actually a stressed member of the chassis. It was part of the chassis. You know, the change from air. So all of the Boxers were.
I know something on the cheat sheet I'm happy you put on there. Continue.
Air cooled. Now going to an oil cooled engine, you know, that meets up with the rigors of daily riding.
Yeah.
Having that additional cooling. So the tail lever, paralever front swing arm was a huge change in the geometry of the motorcycle. Mm-hmm. Made braking a lot easier. The bike didn't dive as much as it did with a traditional telescopic fork or, you know, a leaf spring like most motorcycles had. So, Marcus, what do you have on there that you like that I put on there?
So it's not about the 1100 RS.
Is it about the 650 RS?
Yes.
Or the F650?
So I'm going to say this real quick. The bike that we're about to discuss, Fort 9 did a fantastic video about this bike and the 3 generations of this motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he highly pointed out is a notation that you have about that bike.
In 1993, the F650 models were introduced based on an Aprilia. It was based on an Aprilia 650.
I wouldn't say based.
Well, it was an Aprilia 650, essentially. But these bikes also had a specific name.
Mm-hmm.
They were called the Funduro.
And Aprilia nor BMW built the motor for that bike. I don't know if that was in your information.
It isn't, but
It's a Rotax engine.
that is true. It was a Rotax engine, and
For the first generation.
for the first generation. This was also the first single cylinder engine that BMW built in 30 years.
yeah.
Because they'd only been doing the 4, 3, and Boxer twins. So at this point, you still have the K series bikes. You still have the R bikes, the Boxer twins, the R80, the R100, the R100R. You also the R80 GS, the R100 GS. The R100 GS remained in production until 1997. And it was replaced by the BMW R850 series, which was an oil head engine versus the airhead. 94 to 99, the BMW R1100R standard, which they still make a very similar bike. The R11 in 94 to 99, the R1100 GS dual sport. 96 to 2001, R1100 RT Tourer, which was very popular with police departments. You saw a lot of R1100 RTs, and they're still used by police departments today, or the RT models. 98 to 2005, the R1100 Sports, which was still a standard motorcycle, more sporty, but using all of these bikes were using the new oil head Boxer twins. 99 to 2004, the R1150 GS Dual Sport, which is getting into the modern GSs that most people are familiar with.
Yeah.
Marcus?
What?
Was there one? Well, the way you looked at me, was there?
There's just one that I'm surprised you didn't have on your sheet.
Which one is that?
I don't know if this is the year that it came out, but this is very specifically the year.
Are you talking about the R1200C?
Yes.
I really want to not talk about the R1200C.
I just want to point it out real quick because it is the 1200 motor.
Yes.
And it's fuel injected and ABS and all that other stuff. But that is one of the most ugliest BMW motorcycles ever built.
It's also a James Bond motorcycle.
It's also the James Bond BMW.
Yes.
So, but you did make note on here about something that happened in 2009.
I haven't got, my list hasn't gotten to 2009 yet.
Yeah, I know, but you have a note on here. So,
but that was BMW's only entry into the cruiser market until the R18.
Oh, yeah.
if we don't count their earlier bikes that are basically cruisers.
I don't think you really can, because that was just a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
wasn't necessarily
it wasn't.
a
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you're in the 50s, there's not a whole lot of
No,
options.
there's
It
not.
was,
It's just a motorcycle.
does it have two wheels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it have you are a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what motorcycles look like.
Their first venture into modern cruiser.
Yes. So also in the early 2000s, BMW came out with the K1200s. So they had the RS and the GT and the LT, which the K1200s are, I know we've talked about it, the predecessor to my K1300, which is sitting out in the garage.
Yeah.
And they also had ESA.
Yes, which came later in their lifestyle.
2004.
It came out in 2004 at the end of those bikes' lifespan. 2004 was a revised K series bike. The engines were no longer straight longitudinal. They're now transverse. They switched from the flying bricks. Still water-cooled inline four. The first one was the K1200S Sport Tourer, which I know I have toured on that bike. I'm not going to, because they make a GT version. That's the Sport Tourer. Mine is not really a Sport Tourer, even though it can come with saddlebags.
Yeah.
It was primarily designed as a super sport motorcycle, albeit larger, heavier than the closest Japanese competitors, which at that time would have been the Blackbird, the Hayabusa. I think Kawasaki had the, what was it? Did they have the 1300 or the 1400 at that time?
For the concourse?
No, they had I thought they had a Ninja. No, it was a Ninja 1100 or 1200.
Yeah, ZX didn't come out till later at 1100.
Yeah. Then 1200R in 2005. 2007, the K1200R, which was the semi-fared, not full-fared motorcycle. 2008, K1300S came out. 2009, the GT. What do you have for 2009?
Significant in BMW's history?
Would it happen to be the S1000RR?
Ooh.
Yes. BMW brought out in 2009. They did something again, and that was pivotal in the motorcycle market and changing waves. They brought out the fastest production leader bike in 2009.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the first ones weren't BMWs either. They were, but they weren't. It was kind of like the Funduro, the first gen Funduro.
Oh, was it? Were they Rotax engines?
I don't remember the whole specs on it. There
I
was
didn't
something
think
about they were built in conjunction with somebody else.
Which would make sense.
I don't know who, but they were built in conjunction with
Let's
somebody
see.
else.
It might be on the other side over here.
I've heard a lot of the S1000 guys talk about it.
Nope.
So
Literally doesn't talk. The BMW doesn't say anything about who made the engine.
Yeah.
Whether
well, they probably didn't. Did they on the Funduro?
No, they didn't.
Right.
So
That makes
Who
sense.
knows?
Yeah.
So,
but get on my.
but to be fair, in 2009, BMW came out with a leader bike that was 999cc inline four that produced 193 horsepower.
You know, it's funny. Mine says 192. BMW says 192.
But at that time,
That was
leader bikes
unheard
from
of.
everybody else was about 150 horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were
160.
150 to
I
160.
think the closest one to them was Suzuki with like 165 maybe or something like that.
Yeah. They blew everybody out of the water.
Yeah.
So they also had HP2 versions of those bikes, which HP2 and HP1 were BMW's like race spec motorcycles.
Right. Yeah.
They had an HP2 Enduro bike. They had an HP2 S1000RR.
Yeah, I think I saw something once before that said like HP2s were like 205 horsepower or something like that.
Well, actually here, the F series, which the F800 and the F800 ST introduced in 2006 with Rotax parallel twin engines.
Well, and I'll say this. For most people out there, when you see what you think is a baby GS and it's not a 300 at Starbucks, it's usually an F800.
Yeah, an F800 or now.
Because they sold a lot of F800s.
Yes, or an F850 now. That one ends with the S1000RR, which we have already discussed. But it was you had a race ABS system, traction control. Basically, it was all new design. And you had the silly headlights that one's bigger than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I cannot
Those
stand.
always messed me up.
And then in 2011, your dream came true.
I mean, the 2010, the K1600.
Yeah. Well, you have it very specifically listed as a 2011 K1600 GT/GTL.
The GTL came out in 2011.
Okay.
And I really like the GTL.
Yeah.
So the K1600 is an inline six, 160 horsepower, 175 foot-pounds of torque, Fantastic. I love the K1600s. They sound amazing. If you get a Remus exhaust on them, I've heard one in person. It's
You know what those came with? Electric windshields.
They did. Is that one of my notes? Electric windshield?
No, I know that because when I was at Honda, everybody used to go, K1600's got an electric windshield. Why doesn't the Gold Wing? And I'd go, because it's a fixed windshield.
Yes. And in 2010 as well, ESA 2 came out, which was BMW's traction control system. So the K1200s, the R1100s all had ESA 1. And that was an adaptive suspension and traction control system that was all built into the telemetrics of the bike, which still at the time in the mid 2000s, 2010 was very
for the knowledge of 99% of the people. What that means is electronically controlled anti-dive.
Yeah. Electronic stability assist.
Yep.
Is what ESA stands for.
Well, I'm saying so they know what it is.
Yeah, but it's also
like what it does.
Yeah, it does.
Anti-squat, anti-dive.
But it also allows you to have some control over what the suspension does. Minimal at that time. In 2010, it was
like
minimal.
stiffen up, soften.
Yeah, basically stiff, soften.
Electronically controlled.
Correct. Yeah. Now, in 2013, BMW came out with a bike that I really like. I've always really liked it. The R9T. I've always liked the design styling of it. It's a boxer twin. Just a super cool looking bike. Simple street, but just a standard street bike as well.
ABS was not an option. It was standard.
Yeah. 2020, one of BMW's most famous motorcycles and one of Marcus's favorite came out.
Yeah. Sure
One of the best looking BMW motorcycles to have ever graced the roads.
Yeah.
Marcus, what motorcycle was that in 2020?
Yeah, that'd be the R18.
It does make sense that it came out during COVID.
Right.
Like right in the beginning of COVID. Now, this is also the biggest boxer engine BMW's ever made.
But they also made another bike at that time period, too, that I actually do like.
Which one?
F900.
They did make the F900.
So.
But the R18, though, just overshadowed the F900.
Yeah, because everybody went, why?
They had a lot of options. Now, I've ridden an R18. It's, when you're going, it's fine.
It's great on the interstate.
Yeah, it's a good cruiser.
On the interstate.
As soon as you try to turn, you have found out that 1800cc engine really gets in the way.
Yeah.
I could see that.
And I've always thought like they had, and I can't think of the exact model, but they had like a retro series of it.
Well, and I want to say,
they had a specific name for it.
I want to say this too, because this was kind of a point of contention because that same time period, another brand brought out another motorcycle.
2020.
That when people, well, very specifically 21, that when people went, wait, BMW's building a classic cruiser. People also went, wait, Harley's building an adventure bike.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
so
at the same
much so
time.
that Common Tread did a video about did BMW build a better cruiser than Harley built an adventure bike. And on Common Tread's version, they say
Harley built a better adventure.
Harley built a much better adventure bike than BMW. They were like, we wouldn't even ride this R18 anymore.
Like, I actually liked the looks of the R18. I think it looks cool.
Sitting still, it's an awesome looking motorcycle.
I think it's actually
it's a fantastic parking lot bike.
It's a great looking concept motorcycle. Like if you had one in your garage, you'd be like, yeah, that's because it's a throwback to the R75 or the R17s.
Now, I'll even say this about
the original
R18.
R bikes.
Yeah.
I'll even say this about the R18 because the bike itself aesthetically is a good looking motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
If they could do something where they put a V twin in it, it would be you'd be able to ride it.
I think what they needed to do instead of the 1800cc engine, they should have just done a redesign on the new 1300cc where it's smaller.
I think you'd still be running to a similar issue.
You are, but if it can work, but the GS is taller, and I think that helps.
That
the GS.
helps.
Right. That's where the Boxer doesn't inhibit the GS is because it is taller.
Yeah.
And everybody puts massive skid plates and engine guards around it.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to do that on R18 because it ruins the aesthetic of the bike.
Yeah.
Like it's a great low, like if you're just cruising around, great. Just if you're not having to lean, you can just do that. Like you couldn't take it on Suck Creek Road.
No.
And bomb down like even the Valkyrie, which is a flat 6 motorcycle, I can get a better lean angle.
But it doesn't stick out like those.
No, it doesn't. It's compact.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because it's 6 cylinders instead of 2.
Yeah.
And then in all reality, BMW didn't make anything interesting until 2023.
Well, 2017, BMW slapped their name on another motorcycle.
What do you have for 2017 on yours?
The 310.
Oh, yeah. Pfft. Okay.
BMW has a habit of slapping their name on other people's bikes.
Well, it seems like a lot of the small CC bikes end up getting tossed around a lot.
Yeah.
Because the 310 is basically the same thing as a KTM.
And I'm surprised you didn't mention what they did in 2021 with the S1000.
The M1000XR?
Well, just the M1000 period.
Yes.
First BMW to carry the M nomenclature.
It is. It is. Oh, also in 2021, the bike that I really don't want to talk about was the CEO4, the electric motorcycle.
What?
I just skimmed past it. I saw it on there and just kept reading.
Which, it's not even really a motorcycle. It's electric and mobile in urban areas.
I didn't even know they made an electric
They do.
motorcycle.
Yeah. So let's clarify this, though, on the M1000, since we talked about the S1000 earlier.
Yes.
The M1000 is the M series for the S1000. And they did stuff like they do on the other ones, like with carbon fiber components and advanced electronics and M brakes and aerodynamics. So they made the bike lighter,
Right.
but then they also gave it 212 horsepower.
All right.
Yes. It was basically a naked version of the S1000RR.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing that BMW did there was another pivotal point in motorsports history. They created the modern styling for the direction that sport bikes are going, super sports are going.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
With the winglets and all that other stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Because the M1000 was really the first, next to Ducati, like the Street Fighter styling, aggressive, big front end looking motorcycles.
Yeah.
Then you have the XR, the M1000X or the S1000XR.
I like the XR.
I like the S1000XR. I think it's a great motorcycle. I think they look cool. And then my sheet here ends in 2023 from BMW with the CEO2, another electric piece of crap.
So, some key points to hit here.
Yep.
In 2022, the K1600 got a new 10.25 inch
TFT display.
TFT display. And also in 2023, they did the M1000 again in the R, which was the naked version.
Correct.
And they detuned it to only 205 horsepower.
Just 205. I can't believe.
Only.
Now, the last one I want to touch on. BMW 1300 GS.
Yes. So the newest iteration of BMWs, the GSs, have the 1300cc, and they've also put it in the RT model as well.
Yeah. And they should have worked on it a little bit longer.
Yes. And
Instead of mic drop, it's paper drop.
paper drop. Now, you know, the end of the BMW history there kind of gets a little bit quick because the company itself doesn't really do it. The company just is the company.
Well, I mean,
There's no changes.
Well, and the thing about it is when we're talking about the history or something like that, you know, realistically going all the way back to, we'll call it mid 2000s.
Yeah.
for most everybody listening to this, you were probably paying attention to motorcycles at that time. Even if you weren't riding it, you were 10, 11,
Or,
12 years old.
you have some sort of information. You've seen them. You know them.
You know them. Yeah, your neighbor's got one. You've owned a pre-owned one or something like that.
Or you've seen them.
Yeah.
Because
So-
a lot of these bikes are still on the road. Like the old 1000, RT 1000s, the 1100s,
Well, that's the
1200s.
thing.
Yeah.
Like we went through the history, and that stuff is pivotal moments. Like I said, that
Yeah.
doing the winglets. That's everybody's going to that now. And that's history that we're watching happen.
Correct. Yeah. Everything from like 2000 on to today,
Right.
stuff that we've all seen and paid attention, or maybe not paid attention
Well,
to, but,
but
we
seen.
were,
Well, it's
we
just
were
like for
around.
some of our listeners that may be in that 60-ish range.
Yeah.
Um,
They remember the original R32.
yeah,
Sorry, that's the hog chapter.
they
Well.
remember the GS coming out though.
Yeah, the original R80 GS.
So, and they probably remember those things and seeing what that's like. And it's kind of like how Daniel and I have talked so much about CF Moto.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been on social media and seen the videos, there's a video from EICMA of this one guy that has security with him that's looking very heavily at the CF Moto and trying to figure out what's going on. And that guy is the head of race development for Ducati.
No.
So it's like when I said
Well,
the head of
to
racing,
be-
he's
to
like
be
the
fair, the one-
CEO of the Ducati's racing division.
To be fair, the one that he's looking at is CF Moto's V4
Race
bike.
Oh, yeah.
So
So
that's why the head of racing at
That
Ducati's
makes
looking
sense,
at it.
yeah.
So, but like that's that stuff. We see it happening around us. And I just want to point out to pay attention
Yeah.
because you might be the one that's sharing that moment of history in the future with somebody.
It's easy for us to look back into the past and say, like, look at that. That's a pivotal moment. That's a cool thing.
It's hard for us to think about it while it's happening.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly. And me and you will do that. It'll be 20 years from now and we'll talk about stuff like, you know what? I remember when that bike came out. I didn't think of anything about it when it came out, but now.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like when we hang out with people and they tell the stories or, Lewis tells the stories about back in the day on the RM80, riding around the backyard on the RM80 two-stroke Suzuki.
Yeah.
But you look back, I saw a video the other day of Travis Pastrana giving a tour of Pastrana Land, and he's talking about how important the RM80 was in racing.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of these things, and like what we saw through the history of BMW, if you haven't listened to it, listen to the episode previous to this because it goes back to the beginning.
Yeah.
But you see the design and technology changing. And once it hits the 1980s, it's fairly rapid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens quick.
Very,
and you
very
see-
quick change.
You see, especially with somebody like BMW who is very innovative,
Yeah.
the things being added that sometimes us now we don't think about.
Like ABS on a modern bike
Correct.
is pretty much telescopic
that's-
front forks, or liquid cooling. Those are all fair, even traction control
Yeah.
and things
Yeah.
like that. Those are on a brand new modern bike. That's just,
That's just what they come
Why would
with,
it not
yeah.
have that?
Yeah. Well, and even then, BMW back then too, getting into I think it was the early '90s, belt drive.
Yeah.
So
You mean shaft drive?
no, they had belt like the 650 first. the
Oh
first
yeah.
Enduro
Yeah.
was belt
Yeah.
drive bike.
The 650 was
So
but most of their bikes were shaft drive.
yeah, but there was other brands that were doing shaft drive. I think some of the early Excelsiors were shaft drive and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because they were based on Yamahas, if I recall correctly.
No, I'm talking the Excelsior from like the 30s and 40s.
Oh, I'm thinking of
Because
the
they were
one
the
from like,
longitudinally mounted inline four.
yeah. No, I was thinking of the Excelsiors that came out. I think it was like late 90s.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the rebrand.
the rebrand. Because those were basically Yamahas, if I
Yeah.
recall correctly.
Yeah. So,
But
but mentioning that, we're going to be going from here. We're going to be going into the history of Yoshimura,
yes,
a brand that most of us love.
if you hadn't heard of BMW, you probably haven't heard of Yoshimura.
Yeah, all of us for the most part know. And that's one of those things. Looking at that history, going through when I did this research on Yoshimura, it's racing, man. That's where they've been built up through, is through racing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll hear a lot of you'll probably hear a lot of names that if you pay a lot of attention in the motorcycle industry, you probably are like, I've heard that name before. Where do I know that name from? So otherwise, look into the future.
And on that bombshell.
Hey everybody, this is Sean at White Lightning Harley Davidson. I want to thank you for listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You can reach the podcast on Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Biker, or you can email the podcast at thedailybiker@gmail.com. Be sure to keep an eye on White Lightning Harley Davidson social media pages for the most up-to-date information on all our events and where you can find the boys.